From New York and on the new Hot 97 app, Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, Laura Styles. What sort of shirt is that, Laura Styles?
It's a No Doubt shirt.
No doubt.
Okay, what is on the were they flames on the sleeves?
Yeah, it was flames because it was, like,
I mean, they were flames.
thing.
Let's give it up. Rosenberg is out of character today. I'll apologize in advance. I don't know what he's doing.
It's wintertime. The T-shirts are going away for a while, guys. It's going to be buttoned
What
down.
about
P.
wrestling sweatshirt, Rosenberg?
Nah, I don't do.
Doesn't work.
It's going to move on for a little while. I'm going to be buttoned down, P. Or I'll be NYCFC NYCFCP.
I got numbers too.
Yeah, we lit. NYCFC is in the building. What's up, guys?
What's going on? How are you?
We're fantastic. Y'all about to go to the playoffs and ish.
Yeah, man. We're trying to get that lock down that second spot right now. So,
And you have one more game. First of all, introduce yourselves to the people who
Rodney Wallace here with NYCFC.
Ethan White, NYCFC as well.
Well, now, Rodney, you have a championship already, right?
Yes, that's true.
With the Portland Timbers.
Yes, in 2015.
Proud of that? It's a big deal for Portland.
That's a big deal in my career in general. So I'm definitely proud of that.
Ethan, you got a chip already?
I have an Open Cup, not an MLS Cup.
What's an Open Cup? What that mean?
It's the U.S. tournament. Every
I got
club
it.
team in the U.S. competes for that tournament.
Isn't that the one that like a couple of weird random amateur teams can get in it
Yeah,
too?
so last year there was a team that was sponsored by a DC liquor store.
Yeah.
That made it to like the round of 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was cool, yeah.
They actually made a little run, which is so ill.
All right, so I want to understand because I think MLS is a growing thing. I want to get to that. I love the fact that how many teams do we have here between the Tri-State? You have the Red Bulls now. You have NYCFC. Just those two? Is that the deal?
Just
Those two. And then I want to understand the politics of how we have all of this amazing soccer stuff happening. The MLS is growing, right? Soccer's been a part of my life since I was a kid. I don't play it anymore, but I definitely watch World Cup. And
You don't play anymore?
No, I don't play.
Oh.
You didn't know?
Well, what sports are you still playing? I didn't know. That's not one of your active sports?
You didn't know? You didn't know I was out here?
I forgot what you're currently playing.
Wait,
you don't
I
keep
never
up
even
with
knew
me.
you played soccer.
You don't keep up with me, man.
That wasn't even a thing. You've
I played
never
when I was like
mentioned it.
6 years old.
What do you play now?
Nothing. Okay. I play with myself. That's it.
But he can do that professionally.
I'm nice. Yo, I spent hours at it last night. Look at her wrist. Strong arm steady. But how do we not make the World Cup, man? Somebody explain. How does this happen?
Well, first of all, you did make the World Cup.
I did. Yes, with Costa Rica. We qualified.
So you are going to be making that trip to Russia,
That's the plan right there.
which is lit.
Yeah.
However, the U.S., this is the biggest embarrassment in our entire lifetime.
And wait, so
I'll let Ethan talk
so wait,
about
Rodney,
that.
you were born in Costa Rica.
I was born in Costa Rica, correct.
Okay, and in what town? Or city?
San Jose.
Sounded a big town.
Desamparados. Yes.
Yeah. So, did you try out for the U.S. national team? Or that never even crossed your mind? You're like, I'm gonna go home and represent my country.
So I moved to the U.S. when I was 10, and then I just moved up the ladder throughout the U.S. system, playing club soccer and then going to college.
Hold on, you guys went to? Did you guys both go to Maryland?
Yeah, we went to Maryland at separate times, but yeah, we both.
Well, I also went to Maryland at a very
Right.
separate time from you two as well. What year did you guys graduate from Maryland?
Huh?
Sorry. What years were you at Maryland?
I was there. I left in 2008.
And when were you there?
I got there 2009. So
In 2009. All right, cool.
You're
So
long gone.
I graduated in 02. Yeah, I graduated in 02.
Long gone.
All right, so you worked your way up. got to
Worked my
Maryland.
way up. Yeah, I got to Maryland, then got drafted by DC United, and then there were talks about me getting called up with the U.S. or Costa Rica, and there was no way I was gonna play for the U.S. just because I grew up. My heart was with Costa Rica, so in my mind, if I got that Costa Rica call up, I was definitely gonna take it. So it came and I took it.
And the U.S. is trash, so it all's well that ends well. And then it turns out they didn't even qualify.
They didn't qualify. They didn't make it. Yeah.
So either what's your story with the U.S. system?
Similar to Rodney, I'm not born in Costa Rica, but
You were born in what, Panama?
yeah, you got it. Came up in the ranks like he did. Club soccer, we actually played for the same club growing up sometimes. Potomac, DC Academy, Maryland, and then signed to DC United.
Also, let's not skip over the fact that we went to the same high school, which is
right.
Bethesda
You
Chevy
guys
Chase High School.
neighbors?
That is right.
What's going
Where
on?
did you grow up?
may have been.
But you grew up in Kensington, right?
Kensington, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Chevy Chase. So we grew up.
Yes, right.
My brother just moved to Kensington, so literally like 3 minutes from.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that
On
sort of
Connecticut
close.
Avenue.
Although we can talk later in a boring conversation about how the school BCC has changed as a school a lot from when I graduated.
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
where when you've been
Right.
there because they added
Renovated
the
and all that.
international baccalaureate program, which would be a whole interesting political conversation that you would actually probably appreciate.
Yeah, because I'm not appreciating Kensington,
Maryland,
Chevy Chase.
yeah, don't
or-
badmouth our
He's
place.
hating
'cause we
right
have
now.
I
nice
don't know.
Why is he
I don't
hating
have
Why
any
is he hating
appreciation
right
for it. I don't have an appreciation. I've never been. I don't even. I couldn't point it out on the map. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's rude. Anyway, so you went through the system, and you went to Maryland, and then what happened? To
And then
you?
I signed to DC United the year actually after he left, so we missed each other again. During that time I was coming up, I was in the youth U.S. national team. Was a part of the Olympic team that didn't qualify for the Olympics, and then that was it. And now we're here.
So, question: do you try to answer this as honestly as humanly possible? When you're part of the team that doesn't make the Olympics, and then you're no longer on the team, do you have the same sort of sadness when they don't qualify, or is there a bit of, well, fuck them, they didn't appreciate my talents anyway?
I mean,
and say the truth. Don't try to hide anything. Tell them how you really feel about it.
I think my perspective is I think it's something that needed to happen. I mean, I think you have growing pains. I mean, the sport is growing here. I think other countries are growing quicker than we are. And I think it's time for us to realize that we're not this big superpower in CONCACAF. So I think it's something that we needed to happen, to reflect on.
To start over again, we need to start the
Right.
slate clean.
We need to really see what's really going on and why we're taking steps backwards and other countries taking steps forwards.
Did you guys pay attention the night of? It's your group. You were.
Yeah, all the games were at the same time. So
You were playing.
He
So
threw
I-
it for us. They threw it for us.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a very good point.
Be careful with your words.
Wait, you guys lost that night.
We lost that night, yeah. But
Damn, you set the U.S. up.
Yeah.
baby.
Right. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Excuses. Look at
sorry.
everybody's making excuses like it's
Right.
our fault. You know what I mean? The U.S. had to take care of business, but all the games were at the same time. We didn't know the scores.
Right.
And by the
You know
way,
what I mean?
that U.S. game is supposed to be a winnable game against Trinidad. Remember? You know,
Well,
that's-
they've beaten them every single time they've ever played in history.
Ever.
So yeah,
so-
25 times.
Yeah. We're just kidding about you guys throwing the game.
Yeah. No, but
Who'd
that's
you guys have that night?
Panama,
Panama.
and then they had to win, and they scored in the 89th minute.
That sounds fishy to me.
They scored it. They scored.
Have you been busting his balls ever since it happened?
That sounds fishy to me.
They shut that. It was crazy. They scored the goal They scored the goal in the 80. I'd say the 87th minute, and they still had maybe 10 minutes to go. And as soon as they scored, they shut their lights down. Fans came on the field. They did everything possible not to play the game. Like, the game was over after they scored, and we had a lot of time.
Because there was
left.
stoppage time left.
Yeah, there was stoppage time left. There was playing time left.
Yo, it's so corrupt. Where
And,
was
like-
y'all playing?
Excuse me?
Where was this being played at?
This was
What-
in Panama.
Oh, it was in.
Yeah. And fans came on the field. There was a fan actually defending a corner kick. He was ready. We couldn't take the corner kick because the fan was really defending one of our guys. They had to kick him off the field.
Yo, I find it's amazing that the World Cup can be one of the most majestic, amazing, big feeling events in the world. And the look of those qualifying games that night. I mean, the U.S. game looked literally like a high school. BCC games looked more intense.
We mean
than
the
that
video
game.
footage of
Yes,
the U.S.
and
game.
of the crowd that was there, of all of it, just looked. The coverage itself was embarrassing. We're not on major networks here for certain games. Sometimes the national team's on ESPN, and sometimes it's on BeIN Sports. It's just the whole thing's a disaster. But I agree with your point that we need to start over again. But to you, enjoy the World Cup.
Appreciate that.
Now,
Yeah.
are you definitely going, or is there a chance they could try to leave you off that
Nah,
team?
you gotta compete until the final list is out. So nothing's guaranteed. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Do you feel good about where you are?
I feel good about where I'm at right now. Yes, for sure.
And would this be your first?
This will be my first World Cup.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a soccer player? And I guess you guys have played in different countries, right? While we look at sports being played in America, sometimes we'll be like, well, that was a bad call, and that's corrupt, and that was an inside job, and we make, and sometimes things. FIFA is like the Wild Wild West. Sometimes it seems like. I mean, is that just my outside perspective, not really knowing the inner workings, or is it really sometimes like the Wild Wild West?
Oh man. I'd say there's some things that go on for sure. And that's just the way it is, you know what I mean? That's just the way
Because it's
it is.
international. There's so many things happening
Yeah, and then
internationally.
it's stuff that we don't even know about, but you can just kind of smell it. and you just, what do?
You want to play.
You just play. You got to look the other way.
Right.
Hopefully, you're not on the side that's doing some of that under the table stuff. But at the end of the day, you just gotta. All you gotta do is play. I mean, if you see something that doesn't seem right, like, I don't know, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? I guess you just turn the other way. Like, it's a hard situation, but you definitely see it in the game. In international games, you definitely see a lot of things that happen that are just spooky.
What I guess the question for NYCFC, right? As you guys enter the playoffs, who you guys match up against?
We don't know yet. We have to.
When do you
Yankee
find
Stadium.
out?
Just after this next game.
So you have one more game.
Yeah,
And this last game's at Citi Field. You guys were bumped from Yankee Stadium because of the playoffs.
Their playoffs, yeah. So
correct.
basically, our next home game is at Citi Field.
When y'all getting your own
We have to
stadium?
win.
Red Bulls got their own stadium. What's popping, babe? What's going on?
It's outside the city though. It's in Jersey. It's not New York.
See, that was a
The
good
Jersey
comeback.
team.
Strong.
Yeah, and they play at Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's lit.
Strong.
Right.
Pretty strong.
I mean, yeah, you have to deal with this problem because they happen to be going deep in the playoffs, but by and large,
That's because New York's winning.
exactly. So it's what day is the Citi
strong,
Field game?
strong.
The 22nd, Sunday?
Next Sunday.
Yeah,
Yes.
so make sure y'all
4
go out
p.m.
and
next
check
Sunday
that
at
out, yeah.
Citi Field.
Yup.
And-
Come through.
And who you
That's
playing?
Columbus.
Columbus. They any good?
Yeah, they're good.
In the
They're a good
playoffs.
team.
Who's the strongest team in MLS right now? Best team?
Probably us.
Really?
Yeah. All around, that's definitely us.
And what's your record?
We are 16-9-8.
16-9-8. Strong.
Strong, Ethan.
Do you feel that there's a lot that now has been made of the NYCFC Red Bull matchups when you guys play each other, and almost like this like fake copycat hooliganism that's been happening at the games? Like, yeah.
But what would you say? What would you say?
But,
Fake?
yeah.
Though?
Well, only because
Like,
Americans don't really understand soccer hooliganism. I feel like they
Yeah,
watch
but-
Green Street Hooligans and we're like, we're going to turn up at this game. I don't. There's not enough history. You guys don't have the history yet. It's building. But don't you feel like people are going a little bit OD? Or do you as players sort of get excited by the passion you see in the fan base over these games?
I think I get hyped because I think we're fighting. Like, I get hyped because I think we are the real New York team. They don't play in New York. And then just, I think I feed off the fans' passion. Like, yeah, they may not understand everything about it, and the history is young, but the passion is still, it started something. It's starting. You know what I mean? Which is good because it's gonna last. This league's gonna be around for the next hundreds of years.
And this is what we got. This is our, you know what I mean? We're playing
Right.
in this league. This is our league. So,
You want to see this build. You don't want crime to be committed, but you want to see things build.
all
Right,
this.
right.
You want to see the fans getting hyped. You want to see stadiums
Flip over a
getting
couple of
packed.
cars. Couple car flip overs.
I don't know how to. Yeah, we just want flags waving.
We got fires and stuff, guys. Chill out.
But what are the fire in the garbage? You know, they put the fire in the garbage can and they throw the garbage can.
Bro, you know that they were brought here by
just go out
NYCFC,
there.
right?
Yeah,
You know how promo works.
But I did, when I went to the Red Bulls game several years ago, I did notice that, I mean, obviously in the tri-state area, a lot of first-generation people here, a lot of immigrants in our area. So when they move here, they're bringing their passion from their country and looking for a team in their new home to call their home. And their kids obviously are looking for a team because soccer is a very cultural thing internationally, biggest sport in the world. So I do think that some of it is that.
That's a good
It's
point.
just part of
Wanting to, even
Yeah.
though it's new, you want to have a team that represents.
Right, you want to connect to something.
Now, was it on your guys' radar at all? I'm going to be petty here for a second. Was it on your guys'
second.
radar at
What are you
all
talking about?
when Mike Francesa, the famed New York sports announcer, thought that NYCFC and the Red Bulls were the same team? Did you guys ever hear that?
I did see that.
You did see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Was that
I'm not gonna saw it. I saw it.
was that symptomatic though of something frustrating about the local sports media that maybe not paying attention to you guys as much as they should?
I mean, there's a lot of teams in New York, and there's a lot of people that just don't pay attention to soccer, and that's just the way it is. So that's why we gotta, keep growing as a league, and we gotta do well as a team and raise awareness to the city. You know what I mean? We want to be one of those top teams, and I think that we're doing that right now.
Do you feel like it's a bad omen that you have the same colors as the Mets and the Knicks?
That's
That's just
unreasonable.
the New York colors.
Is that what? You sure? I mean, Giants are New York. They don't. Yankees. Just asking.
We got blue, right?
Yeah, it's not the exact
Right.
same,
Not
bro.
the same.
There's the orange is similar.
And that's our
Do you
away.
guys think
those
the-
are the
no,
away
no,
kits too? Those are the away kits.
Yeah, those are the weak.
But I mean, maybe you guys could change the energy for the other guys, because
Help turn them around.
whoa.
They need
You
all
guys
that.
don't have to comment. You guys just let me
They need
know.
all
Like
that.
I feel like you're really a fan of them, huh? Like, are you from
Right.
you're from Jersey?
From where? Fan of who?
Oh, you feel like he's Team Red Bulls.
Yeah,
that's
it is
what
what
I-
it feels
that's the
like.
energy I was
That
getting.
is
We're over
what
here
it
with
feels
This
like.
didn't have
NYCFC.
anything to do with the
No,
Red Bulls.
that's
This
what
had
it feels
everything to
like.
do with the
They
Knicks
took
and the
you. They
Mets.
took you to one game, and yeah.
Now you're a fan.
It looked out. It was a great experience.
We got a game on the 22nd. You should come check it out.
Yeah, how about that?
Let me check my calendar.
How about you bring? How about you bring Issa to City Field? It's a lovely, lovely experience. City. Have you guys ever played a game at City Field?
No.
It's dope. City Field's
been.
really,
City
really
Field's
nice.
amazing.
It's
bro.
really nice.
It's a great facility.
Really?
It's I mean, Yankee Stadium and new Yankee Stadium and City Field both have their upsides, but there's some really nice things about. And it's still in New York.
You would love it at Yankee Stadium though, because I went and I had a ball. It was
I'm
so
sure.
fun.
I love Yankee Stadium. It's amazing. I just nobody invited me. These things happen. You know what I mean? My invite was probably got lost in the mail or
Your
email. Maybe it
invite
went
will
to spam.
come.
Maybe it went to spam.
They
Now,
got tickets to the game?
Anytime you want to
Yeah.
go, Ibra. You still
you
want
gotta
him,
go.
even with his attitude? Now, real quick, when do the playoffs start? When's the first day of the playoffs? Do we know the exact date the playoffs start?
It depends where the second seed right
Oh,
now.
okay, you're the second seed, so it just depends where you fall. And will you get a home playoff game at Yankee Stadium, assuming the Yankees aren't in the World Series? That's my guess. So maybe we go to a playoff game. That could
I'm
be
into
kind of
that.
lit.
I'm in.
How about that?
Because the Red Bulls have never brought a player up here. Let's be honest.
Never.
Yo,
They never made it.
What's
Never.
going on, man?
Yeah.
They cut the check or what?
It's just facts. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
They've
was gonna
never
happen.
given me a jersey either.
See? So that's
Okay.
A personalized jersey.
So do you want to write down?
Like, are you mad that you didn't get the number 7? We can
Yeah, we
can
can
swap
swap it out.
You saw that, right? He was like, "Oh, I asked for
yeah.
one, but I asked for 7, but 1 will do."
We can switch that. We can switch that.
Wait, you're tightening up over there?
I'm just making sure you're on the right side. I feel like
Oh, there's rights and wrongs in
I
this.
mean,
You got to pick a side, bro.
Gotta pick a side.
Yeah.
Sure.
NYCFC. That represents. You know what that has the key letters it has in there.
NYC.
NYC.
Right.
I will tell you, it's a dope name as far as establishing your name here.
Yeah, it is.
Like taking the football
good.
club thing, which is a European thing that has always been around.
There's a few FCs out there in the MLS, right?
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Few FCs.
I think it's a dope look.
Well,
Congratulations,
I like
guys.
you guys, though. You guys are nice. Very nice
appreciate
guys.
you guys.
Appreciate it.
Very
appreciate it.
giving. Shout out to NYCFC. Maybe I'll get invited to a game, and hopefully you guys make it far into the playoffs, too.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And,
that.
and Ethan, you brought your camera. You're a big photographer as well.
I am. I'm trying to be. I should say.
So how new is this thing? Because you came in, you showed up with a big camera, and actually, he showed up, thought only you were doing the interview, and he was just gonna be taking pictures of
that's the. I mean,
that was the initial.
that was the plan for. He's like, "Yo, can I go and shoot?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I thought it
let's
was
do
like we love hip hop, so we're like, this is a big moment. I want to
Oh,
capture
cool,
this.
cool.
I just want to shoot it.
And then you didn't think when you'd come to have this big moment, Hot 97,
Yeah, I was just
that
standing in the
Ebro would
corner.
just start like talking trash and kind of act like he's Team Red
Well,
Bull.
be careful at Rosenberg. They said they like hip hop. Let's see what's really going on here.
Oh, what kind of
Okay,
hip hop?
Okay,
Oh,
now we're really gonna dig in. Okay.
What kind of hip hop you like?
Yeah, what are you listening to?
I like a
right now?
wide range of things.
Like?
Just
Like-
run through.
What's on your
Anything
phone?
from J. Cole to
Okay, good start. I was
Gucci
safe.
to-
I was safe. To the what?
to Gucci to
Okay.
anything to
Respect.
Atlanta trap.
Got it. And you, sir?
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I mean, wide range.
Wide range. Generic. Going with
What
the
are you guys
generic?
both? What are you listening to right this second?
Brent Fayez's new album.
I like Brent Fires. He's dope.
Don't know who that is. Keep going.
Gold Link. He's on Gold Link's record.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
From DC also.
I don't
he
know
from
where I
DC?
don't know where Brent's from. Where is he from?
I don't know. I assume DC because he was with Gold Link on that record. And I know Gold Link does a lot of DMV collabs, or tries to anyway.
You guys should listen. You guys are both from the DMV. You should listen to the new JIDK project.
I've never heard of him.
You never heard of
Never
JIDK?
heard.
I was very bad. It's really
It's very well done.
very
Word.
good.
Yeah.
Well, check it out. We always ride together to training, so we got like an hour. We got an hour-long ride, and we always just check out what's new or he makes some playlists.
How-
I make a playlist.
What don't you like in hip hop right now?
Oh, I
Let's
like
go
that.
there.
Ooh.
Actually-
What are you like? This is garbage.
So let's say like yesterday he put on what, Lil Pump? or
Lil
something?
Pump.
And I was like, yo, E, like, what is this? And he was like, it's Lil Pump. And I was like,
How'd you learn about Lil Pump?
it's not for me.
That's what I don't. That goes straight into my point. I don't like how social media influence. It's too much social media influence on the art. Like Lil Pump is like an internet what do they call them?
SoundCloud rapper.
But that's like the
Yes,
new.
yes,
That's
yes.
that's
So almost
that's the new
everyone.
generation. That's how it is right,
Right,
now.
and you don't
know
have
what I
to be
mean?
that talented to create a song. Like, Lil,
But how did you
Lil
learn about
Pump's-
Little Pump on like World Star?
the song, yeah. So I saw him on Instagram doing foolishness. I don't even know what he was doing.
Like was that before?
Smoking weed in a car or something.
Maybe I don't even know. I just saw his. I don't know.
Getting tattoos on his face.
Something crazy.
That's the
And
trend right now.
then I heard the song and I was like, oh, it's catchy. It's garbage, but it's catchy. The beat's a good beat, good flow. You don't have to think about anything.
It's like
while you're
fast
listening to
food,
it.
right? It's like
exactly.
fast food.
It'll be dead in a week and then move on.
Jeez, you just crushed Lil Pump's whole
Okay.
life.
It's over.
right now.
NYCFC versus Lil Pump. It's happening.
Lil Pump.
Yo, NYCFC likes real bars out here, kid. You ain't got it. They represent New York.
How would you guys describe? Because I haven't been there in much longer than you have been. How would you describe what DC, like what young people in DC hip hop wise are into? Like when you were in high school and even at Maryland, where were people at hip hop wise?
In
I've
high
never
school,
seen that.
it was like when we were there. DC was Wale.
Wale,
Wale was
Go-Go,
he was a
TCB.
big- yeah. Go-Go was when
TCB.
Go-Go.
Wow.
Oh.
Siri just jumped in.
Point, yo.
Siri was like, Wale is the
Oh,
shit.
man.
I'm glad you
What's
brought
up,
him up. People need to mention Wale more often. And you're like, Wale, are you taking over?
That was a
Hello?
commercial. That was a commercial. But yeah, Wale was big. He still is. He still is big in the DC area.
Was
And
it trap though? A lot of trap stuff was really popping too.
No.
Fat Trail was coming up.
So you saw support for DC artists in DC. There was a good amount of support for the local artists.
Yeah, locally, yeah. I don't think DC artists get much
But the
love
thing,
outside
they
of
don't
DC.
even like really support each other. I feel
Right.
like.
Right.
Believe
I
it.
feel
And
like-
Well,
Well,
that's,
maybe
a
New
common,
York.
that's a common problem for large cities, though, right? Like you hear that about New York a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? DC, I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot about Philly, right? I hear that. I think that's a large city. You know, Atlanta, while it's a major city, it's not as large as some of these other metropolitan areas. As far as just it's so, like you can have so many different types of lifestyles. You know, like you think
Right.
about the DMV area, it's so many different cultural groups and lifestyle groups where
Right.
things don't always intersect. Same thing here in New York. You can have an artist from the BX who knows nothing about Brooklyn. There's no...
There's no
But what
connection.
bothers me is I've literally tried to be the interconnector who's been like, hey, so-and-so DC artist who's popular. Do you know this DC artist is popular? Oh, yeah, I heard about it. He's pretty good. Wow, y'all should get on a song together. I could connect you if you like.
Right.
Crickets.
Nothing.
There's
And I'm
no
like,
connection.
oh, okay, well, all right, or nah. Just keep this thing going. It's been going like this since DC has not had a consistent movement ever. It's never happened.
Do you think
like,
that
like
is...
Atlanta or something like that?
No, not yeah, exactly. It's never been like Atlanta. It's never been like anything. There's always only been one popular person at a time, right? So Wale
true.
was huge for a long time. Now over the last couple years, Logic has been really big.
Logic.
We got
They've
Shy
never
Glizzy.
been on a record together. Shy Glizzy's been
Shy
big,
Glizzy.
and Shy Glizzy and Wale have been on records together. But Logic,
now.
Didn't Wale try to do what you're talking about?
What, like
With Fat Trail?
Bring
and I
it
saw-
together?
Wasn't
yes,
he trying to...
Wale did connect with some in a certain sect, but then like I'm really looking to cross for people who are in slightly different sects to cross in
Right.
to each other also. So like, yeah, no, Wale definitely has had people he's had under him who are big or who he's helped bring up and make popular. I'm not saying he hasn't reached out to artists. He definitely has.
But
in
here,
ter-
while you're in New York City, I got news for you. There's nothing more than New York City likes than New York City. So while you're on NYCFC, embrace that New York thing, because
Oh,
New Yorkers, yo, even if they're like first generation from somewhere else, they're like, yo, I'm from New York now.
yeah, like you guys got to come out at the playoffs. Like y'all got to be warming up at the playoff game to Bodak Yellow, you know, or Bobby
Cardi goes
Schmurder or
hard.
something.
That's-
yeah.
Cardi goes hard.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that.
Boogie.
Hey, Boogie
Hey,
goes hard
Boogie.
too.
And, hey, yo,
That's the
and if
Bronx
you're at
right there,
Yankee
though. That's the Bronx.
See?
Yep.
You're doing good already. You're doing good already. You guys give it up, NYCFC. Going to the playoffs for sure, yes?
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
fuck it up from here.
No, we're in there right now.
Don't
We're
Team
trying to lock the
USA.
spot.
Don't Team
Whole
USA this
fucking
thing.
club,
Don't
B.
put
We
that out
riding,
there right
man.
now. Take the energy away.
Yeah, man. NYCFC.
NYCFC.
Give it up for him,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
Great
for having
meeting you.
us.
guys.
Thanks for having us.